Good morning and welcome to the WCLE High School Football Media Day, supplied by Wholesale Supply Group and our friends at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. I'm Josh Rogers with ESPN Cleveland, here with Stephen Shelton. Welcome in today, man.
I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this. It should be a great way to kick off football season.
Absolutely. We're live here at Lifecare Centers of America, the corporate office here in Cleveland, Tennessee. We have 13 schools today that are going to be participating in this media day. It's going to be a big day. We're going to hear from coaches. We're going to hear from players, athletic directors as well. All things high school football. We're going to jump in and talk about all 13 schools during this pre-game show, little pre-media day show here today. And we're excited for another great year of high school football here in Southeast Tennessee.
Absolutely. You know, it's coming off a great season last year. Bradley Central, a tremendous season. Cleveland in more of a rebuilding season, and Walker Valley with the historical season up there. So losing a lot of talent, a lot of talent moved on. Of course, Boo Carter being the number one talent guy in the state, and then Marcus Gorey both going to University of Tennessee, and then losing a lot of other kids as well that were very good high school players.
Absolutely. We're going to be hearing today from Bradley Central, Cleveland High School, Walker Valley, East Hamilton, East Ridge, Hickson, Howard High, Meigs County, McMinn County, Ottawa, Polk County, Red Bank, and Ray County as well. This is going to be live on Mix TV from 11 o'clock to about 2:10 today. We'll have a post-media day coverage show as well till about 2:30. So join us all day. Join us through your lunch break. Join us through, and you can watch on mixtv.tv. You can also watch on the Facebook pages and YouTube as well today. Big announcement for you as well. We're going to go over and talk about our mixtv.tv rivalry games that you and I and our partner, Steve Hartline, will be doing this year. But you're going to be actually having a new show at 6 p.m. during these rivalry games called The Countdown to Kickoff with you and Denny Collins.
I'm looking forward to it. I think, Denny and I have known each other 35 years, and this is something Steve wanted to kind of bring and kind of kick off the coverage for mixtv.tv and, of course, ESPN Cleveland. And so we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really, really good time. Denny is one of the most professional people you'll meet. When you talk about coming with a lot of information, Denny's going to have it. So I'm excited to get that started, and I think it's going to maybe bring a lot to the table before we get to the kickoff each Friday night.
Absolutely. Our first game on mixtv.tv, the rivalry games, will be August 30th. That's going to be Cleveland High School at McMinn. Then we're going to head back home. We're going to have 2 games back-to-back there with Cleveland. September 6th will be Walker Valley and Cleveland High School. September 13th, Walker Valley at Bradley Central. September 20th, we'll be at Walker Valley for Walker Valley and Ottawa. September 27th, we'll be heading back down to Ottawa to watch them take on McMinn County. October 18th, we'll be in Meigs County to see Meigs County take on Polk County. And October 25th, Cleveland High at Bradley Central. We're actually going to have another game. It's not been announced yet. It's going to be on November 1st. It's going to be a flex game. Wait to see what playoff implications will be for that game as well. A lot of big games for the Mixed TV rivalry games this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
A list that just keeps on growing, apparently.
Absolutely. We started off with just like 3 or 4 games, and now we're up to almost every week.
That's not the list I got, so it's fine.
Yeah. I saw that list this morning, and I said, oh, well, I circled 4 of them and said, you better find somebody else for the rest of them.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite a few, but that's okay.
But back today for the WCLE High School Football Media Day, our first guest at 11 o'clock today is going to be Bradley Central High School. Shelton, tell us a little bit about Bradley Central last year, this year, and what we can expect from the Bradley Central Bears.
Last year, Bradley, historical run, 13-1. They one of the most talented teams in the state. You think about they get to the game against Oakland there at Bradley Central. They had everything going for them. Oakland scores 21 points in a row, and just Bradley ran out of gas, and that's all there was. They held Boo Carter 26 yards rushing. Oakland did a great job. They were very talented, very big, very fast. But again, Damon Floyd, now the greatest coach in Bradley Central history. He has the longest tenured, 22 years with Bradley Central now. when Damon took this job over in January of 2006, he was 28 years old.
Wow.
Damon came to Bradley when John Allen left to go to Silverdale, that you're familiar with, when we went down there. But Damon, he was a heck of a player himself. He was a state champion wrestler at 160. He rushed for 1,800 yards his senior year. So Damon knows, Bradley Central football. And I said for years, the struggles before Coach Floyd got there, I should say instead of Damon, I guess, when Coach Floyd got there, the struggles had been pretty severe. And a few good years with Coach Price. But Damon, his quote in the Chattanooga in 2006 was, "I hope being a Bradley boy will help me rebuild this program." I think it did.
It absolutely did.
He is now the winningest coach in Bradley Central history. He is by far, he has built this program to one that now you look across the state and you look at different quadrants of the state, Bradley Central now is on the map when people talk about high school programs.
Absolutely, and I think that with Coach Floyd and all that he's done at Bradley Central High School, when you think of Southeast Tennessee, one of the big things you think about is high school football, and you think about legacy. There's a lot of great coaches from Hamilton County, McMinn County, and obviously here in Bradley County at Cleveland High School throughout the years. But I think over the past few years, Coach Floyd has really cemented his name in the legacy of high school football in Southeast Tennessee.
Oh, there's no question. Coach, now when you talk about the greats and you can talk about the Benny Monroes and you can talk about the Damon Floyds and you just really, when you talk about all the football coaches that have come through this area, those two now are probably up here by themselves and everyone else kind of falls in behind.
Bradley Central will take on McMinn County at Bradley Central next week on Thursday. That game is going to be a Thursday game. I know Coach Floyd likes to play those Thursday games first week of the year. And
it gives him a longer weekend.
It absolutely does. First game and to be able to make the changes he needs to for the next one. But next Thursday, August 22nd, McMinn County at Bradley Central High School. Our next guest from 11:15 to about 11:30 today, or 11:25 today, is going to be Cleveland High School. Cleveland High School in the second year with Coach Tygard at the helm. They obviously had I would say 6-5 overall last year. Not a disappointing year in a first year for the coach, but I know that there's a lot of hype around this team. I know they're doing a lot of things at Cleveland this year. We had Coach Tygard on our show that you can listen to on ESPN Monday through Thursday, 5 to 6 on The Drive, me and Andy Morris. We had him on the show yesterday. He was talking about all the great things that they're doing there. They've got brand new lights. Obviously, the turf was a big thing, moving the stadium home side back and forth. But also, I know they've got some great things in the locker room for the kids, such as a new barber shop that they have there, a bunch of Xboxes and PlayStations as well, trying to rebuild that program. But what does he have to do this year on the football field, not in the locker room, not with all the fans and everything else, but on the football field to get that Cleveland Blue Raiders team back to where it should be?
Yeah, win. It's what he's got to do. At this point, as a longtime Tennessee football fan, I know hype only gets you going before the first kickoff. And so Coach Tygard come in, and he's got to put his program in. It's going to take him a while to get his kids in place, and this goes all the way down to elementary school and really helping these kids understand what he's trying to do from a defensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint. But now it's time to win. And that's what, they can talk about Bradley last year. They played Bradley great. He threw the kitchen sink. They run the Statue of Liberty, the flea flicker, and something else.
Yes.
He ran every form that I know that you can actually have in football. And I'm not sure all of them were legal, but no one actually knew.
They lost that game 36-26.
And it was close.
It was.
So I think there was a pick there at the end that kind of sealed it for Bradley. But, Bradley now has graduated a lot of those kids.
Yeah.
It is time now for I think Coach Floyd, they've won 12 in a row now, I believe it is, against Cleveland. That just can't happen. At some point, it's not a rivalry anymore. And so this is the year I think Cleveland really needs to nail down a victory to kind of be that cornerstone victory for Coach Tygard. He's still looking for that one kind of what I would say just a victory to kind of leapfrog off of to really push this program and really get the kids in the middle schools and the elementary schools excited, because if you look at Bradley Central, the number of kids at their games are just incredible. That, whether on the field, whether they're playing on the side or on the hill. And Cleveland used to be that way. And I've seen a little bit of that, but they just need a couple of keynote wins here. And I think this season could be the season for Coach Tygart to really, really rejuvenate this entire fan base.
They will take on Clinton High School next Friday, August 23rd at Cleveland High School. You can get tickets wherever you get tickets from, Town Squire, everywhere else.
Gobbles Automotive.
Gobbles Automotive, everywhere else here in town as well for that game too. So the Coach Tygart and the Cleveland Blue Raiders will take on Clinton next week. At 11:30, we'll have Walker Valley head coach Drew Akins and a few players there for Walker Valley. A big year last year, 11-3 for Walker Valley. A lot of people would say at the beginning of the season they would not have thought that Walker Valley would have been 11-3 on the year. Went and actually played West up in Knoxville. That was their last game of the year in the TWSAA high school football playoffs, where they lost 38-3. But throughout the year, an amazing season there for Walker Valley.
Oh yeah, I mean they won 2 games in the playoffs. I mean it is the greatest season in Walker Valley history, in the 20-25 year history of Walker Valley. Drew Akins now is the winningest coach in Walker Valley history. I just think when you look at this Walker Valley program and you look at all the things, everyone wants to kind of look at the negatives. I think at the positives of this is you look at where this Walker Valley football program was before Coach Akins got there, and then you look at where this football program is today. And I think Walker Valley, I believe, on paper, Walker Valley is the best team in this county right now. Now that changed from year to year because of the players you have in high school and you don't recruit legally. And so having this team back with a number of starters and impact players he had from last year, I really think Coach Akins is up for another big season for Walker Valley, and I really expect some big things from them.
Absolutely, we do as well. They'll be playing Notre Dame at Notre Dame down in Chattanooga on next Friday on the 23rd as well. That game will be at 7 o'clock. This year, you're going to be able to hear Walker Valley on 99.1 FM. You'll be able to hear Bradley Central all games on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. And the Cleveland Blue Raiders, you'll be able to hear on Mix 104.1. We will have Mix TV rivalry games with all 3 of those teams this year throughout the entire year. A new thing this year as well, you'll be able to stream and hear the broadcast for every single Cleveland Blue Raider, Bradley Central, and Walker Valley game as well on mixtv.tv as well. We'll have footage of video footage of those games for home games, and then you'll have the audio broadcast of those games as well on Mixed TV later this year as well. Moving on, we'll have 11:45 to 11:55 East Hamilton High School, where Aaron Nance, the head coach there for East Hamilton, had a big year last year, 6-5 for East Hamilton High School, with a win over Walker Valley 17-10 last year.
Oh yeah, we got to watch them last year. And I'm playing us twice here. I apologize. It was good. We got to see East Hamilton last year at Ooltewah. This is a program. It offers a lot. I mean, their facilities are second to none. They've got a great school. They've got 2 enormous gyms there that whether rain or shine, they've got somewhere to practice football. Their community's behind them. It's a really good community. I really think this is a program to really watch this year. I think they're up and coming.
I think so too. And I know just like what Cleveland is trying to do with that K through 12 football program, I know East Hamilton is doing the same. I've got a friend of mine who is a coach down there in the lower levels, and I know that they are really growing that program in East Hamilton as well. Their first game of the year is going to be against Hickson High School at East Hamilton at 7 o'clock on August 23rd. East Ridge, Chad Barger, they were 4-7 last year, but they look to turn that around this year. They're in the 4A, Region 3 as well. Last year had some good games. Obviously, a big win against Chattanooga Prep last year, a big win against Sequoia, but had some losses. Sequatchie County, Red Bank, Loudon 30-0 was a big loss last year for them. I know, but after that game, they kind of turned it back around. Went to Tennessee High School playoffs, played Upperman. Lost that game 56-14. But I know that Chad Berger and East Ridge Pioneers are looking to turn that season around and have a really big season this year as well.
Yeah, and East Ridge should be good. You've got to buy in. We're going to talk about Meigs County here in just a few minutes. If you look at the Meigs County program, they've bought in. They
Yeah.
bought into what they're selling. They've went through 3 head coaches. They're still buying in over there.
Yeah.
We're talking about a county that's got 14,000 people. And so for East Ridge in a kind of a similar situation, you got to buy in. And I think as soon as he can get the kids to buy in, the parents to buy in, the boosters to buy in, because it takes everyone, once they get to that point, I think you'll see East Ridge back to a place where in the 90s that we knew them for being a really good football program.
And that will be at our 12 o'clock hour. You'll have East Ridge there. And up after them will be Hickson High School. The Hickson High School Wildcats were 7-4 last year with a loss to Stone Memorial in the Tennessee TSSAA Division High School Football Playoff brackets. They obviously kind of play in this same bracket there in that 4A Region 3. They're looking to continue their success of last year, 7-4, 5-1 in the district last year. Big year last year for Hickson as well.
Yeah, Hickson's similar to East Ridge. You've got Hickson, you've got Red Bank, you've got East Ridge. You got Ooltewah, East Hamilton. They're so close, but yet they're so far away if you start thinking about it. And so I just think that when you look at these programs, again, it's about participation. I see Coach Floyd walking in, and one of the things he said when he was first hired in 2006 was, "I'm going to go talk to every boy in the school." And he did. And look what's happened. And I think the same thing for Hickson, same thing for East Ridge. You've just got to get your athletes out there. You got to put the best athletes you have on the field, and then work from there.
Absolutely. Howard will also be with us in that 12 o'clock hour, 12 to 12:30, a 1-9 season last year, but they look to bounce back this year and have a really great year. They'll be playing Walker Valley on October 4th, as well as McMinn County on October 11th. We're going to see Meigs County as well. Tommy Bunch Jr. left after a 12-1 season last year to go and coach at Sweetwater. We got a new head coach, Nathan Simbach, the former offensive coordinator at Boyd Buchanan. After a 12-1 season last year for Meigs County, where do we go from here?
Well, I'm old enough to know when Coach Simbach played quarterback, so I'm kind of getting old here. So, Coach Simbach's going to bring the same intensity that they've had. Meigs County coach leaves and goes to Sweetwater, takes over that program. Coach Simbach comes in. He's going to do a good job over there. Number one, he's going to do a good job because the community support is there. And in high school sports, the community support is so important. And I just don't believe fan bases really understand that it's not about tearing down a coach. It's about, hey, if you believe in this guy and he's the guy that the administration believes is the best to lead your young men on the field, then get behind him and let's see what happens. And I think you've seen that in Meigs County. You've seen success over the last 4 or 5 years has been incredible, the number of wins versus losses. With, again, limited, there are not people moving or jumping the river from Ray County to come to Meigs County High School. You don't have a lot of kids from McMinn going to Meigs County. You don't have a lot of kids, from any area trying to get into. So these are Meigs County kids that's get Meigs County support, and I just believe Coach Simbach is the right guy for the job there, especially with what he did offensively at Boyd Buchanan the year before.
At 1 o'clock, we'll have McMinn County. Coach Bo Cagle, 6-5 last year in Region 4. Their first game of the year will be against Bradley Central at Bradley Central. What does the Cherokees have to do this year after a 6-5 season last year with a loss to Clinton there in the TSSAA playoffs last year? What do they have to do to get back on track?
Oh, Coach Cagle's one of my favorite guys. He's a dude. He's just a dude. And so, when you think about Coach Cagle, and what McMinn has to offer. McMinn's got so many good athletes, and again, you've got to keep them on the field. You got to keep them healthy. Had a few issues last year with some injuries, but Coach Cagle can get it done. He really can, and so I expect them to bounce back this year. I could see a 6 or 7 win season for McMinn County, and it's about staying healthy for the Cherokees.
At 1:15 today, we'll hear from James Manning, the head coach of the Ooltewah Owls. Ooltewah last year 2-8. Kind of a disappointing year for Ooltewah, but I know that they have a lot of people down in Ooltewah who are supporting the Owls and who are really looking for a big year out of Ooltewah football.
Well, not only that, but we saw glimpses of it just in one game. We saw just so many glimpses of how good they could be. Ooltewah is kind of lost their identity for a few years. They were a team that you didn't want to go to the Owl's Nest. You just didn't. It was a tough place to play. So many great players even one of your former Atlanta Falcons, roamed the field there in Ottawa for many years. And I just think that it's about changing the culture. And you've got to change the culture back to a winning mentality. And you just need a couple of wins there to make the kids believe. And I know I'm kind of like a broken record, but that's the secret sauce. It really is the secret sauce of high school sports, is getting the kids to buy in, getting the community to buy in. But it's about changing that culture to believe that what they're selling, that the kids are going to buy.
We're down to our last three teams that we'll hear from today, Polk County, Red Bank, and Ray County. Polk County last year under Derek Davis was 4-7 in the Region 2 of 2A football. They had wins last year against Copper Basin, Tellico Plains, a big win against them, and a very close game that we got to see last year against Sweetwater High School, 29-28. They made it to the TSSAA playoffs last year and had a loss against Hampton, 36-19 to end their season. Derek Davis, the head coach there for Polk County, will be joining us today. They're going to take their first game against Copper Basin this year. I know a game they expect to win.
And expect to look forward to. Derek Davis, you want me to a nicer guy. His intensity there on the field, he left for a while, has come back. Polk County is and same with Meigs and some of these smaller areas, talent kind of goes in cycles. And I think you're seeing that cycle start to uptick a little bit for Polk County. And you have a few down years, and you're doing all you can as a coaching staff. But when you start to have that talent start to step up and start to elevate, coaching gets a little bit easier. And so it's kind of like doing a broadcast with Steve and without Steve. It's a lot easier without Steve.
Absolutely.
And so with us, it's definitely the same with Polk County. As that talent starts to uptick, I think you're going to see Polk County, if they can get to 5 wins this year, 6 wins this year, I think that continues to build. And again, a place with just incredible support.
At 1:45 today, we will hear from Red Bank High School. Red Bank High School was 8-4 last year under Coach Ted Gatewood. They had big wins, obviously, last year against Signal Mountain. Lost to Cleveland last year as well, and obviously a loss 35-0 loss against Bradley Central. They had won a game against DeKalb County out of Smithville, Tennessee, in the playoffs last year. Then went to had a game at home against Macon County, lost that game 28-7. Red Bank, obviously, an historic football team and a lot of history down at Red Bank High School.
Without question. Coach Gatewood, I think, has been at every school in Hamilton County now. So, but he's a coach.
He's a coach's coach.
Yeah, he can get it done. And so, again, Red Bank, if you look, again, I know we keep breaking down where these places are, but, if you don't go to Signal Mountain, you go to Red Bank.
Yeah.
That's it. Unless you're going to Baylor,
yeah.
That's it. And so the amount of talent that's right there in the valley, below the mountain is plentiful. And so it's about, again, building off that 8-4 season for Coach Gatewood. Again, I'm sure a couple of losses that he would like to get back, but I think
especially that Ray County loss last year, 28-21. I mean, that game was so close. And you're talking about a Red Bank team other than the loss to Cleveland, the loss to Bradley, and Bradley was a juggernaut last year. But that loss to Ray County, I mean, you're talking about a team that would have been 9-3 on the year, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. So if you look there, 7 games they won last year, 7 out of 8 that they won last year, they held their opponents to 7 or less points.
Unbelievable.
So defense is definitely going to be a key for the Lions this year. But I do expect Coach Gatewood. He's always going to have them prepared. Just really building off that 8-4 season.
Our last team of the day will be at 2:00 in the 2:00 hour, and that will be the Ray County Golden Eagles under new head coach Taylor Harvey. Coach Harvey, big year last year, 5-6, but went and played Lenoir City in the TSSAA playoffs. Very close games all last year. 14-7 loss against Knox Central. All their losses were pretty close last year. Tyner Academy 48-30, but they were in that game the entire time. And I know that Ray County, the Golden Eagles, and their new head coach Taylor Harvey are going to be looking for a big year this year as well, Stephen.
Yeah, I just think that if you look at their season last year, they 5-6, but I think if you go back and look at a few of their games, Tyner is one they wish they'd had back. I just think when you look at that entire program and where they're at, the players they're able to develop over there, they got a great middle school program. They do have community support, as we've talked about so much during this broadcast. I just think Ray County is one of those teams as they'll fly as high as their offense takes them. They've always been an offensive-minded team, as you can see some of those scores last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're an offensive-minded team, and at the end of the day, it's nothing more than as the offense goes, so will the Eagles.
Absolutely. You have been listening to the WCLE High School Football Media Day pregame show. Josh Rogers, Stephen Shelton here. This pregame show and media day is sponsored by Wholesale Supply Group and Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
I don't even know. I mean, I'd really like to say that he owns the station, but Jennifer's not here, so it's fine. At this point, I really don't know.
You want to say anything?
No one cares.
Well, I think a lot of people
Hey,
care.
did you see what Austin just had to do? He had to raise the camera. It's the first time in Steve's media history they had to raise the camera to get him in the shot.
This WCLE High School Media Day, as we were saying, is sponsored by Wholesale Supply Group, Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. At 11 o'clock today, we will be passing it over to the person that you just saw here, Steve Hartline with WCLE, as he will be hosting this Media Day today. I want to go over real quick again all the mixed TV rivalry games that we're going to have this year. Our first game of the year is going to be on August 30th at McMinn Central at McMinn County High School, Cleveland High School.
The wheels fall off when he shows up.
It's
It really
unbelievable.
does. Yeah.
At McMinn County versus Cleveland High School, that will be our first game of the year, and that will actually start at 6 p.m., where we will have the countdown to kickoff with Stephen Shelton and Denny Collins and a special guest, I believe, up there as well. Then we'll go on September 6th back to Cleveland High School and have Walker Valley at Cleveland, September 13th. Walker Valley at Bradley Central, September 20th. Ottawa at Walker Valley. On the 27th of September, McMinn County at Ottawa. On October 18th, we'll be in Meigs County for Polk County and Meigs. October 25th, probably the biggest game of the year here in Bradley County. It will be Bradley Central High School versus Cleveland High School at Bradley Central. A lot of big games this year, a lot of great high school football that is just right upon us. Obviously, this day is going to be a day that we've been working on for a long time to really bring all these coaches, a lot of these players here in the same room, to be able to hear from them and to be able to promote their schools and promote these players. And we made a comment the other day that's what we're here for. It's not about ESPN. It's not about WCLE or the family of stations. It's all about these high school kids, these high school athletes, and these schools. Promoting them is what we try to do best, to be able to provide a platform for them to showcase their talents.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself.
For Josh Rogers, Stephen Shelton, you've been listening to the pregame and the pre-show for the high school football, WCLE High School Football Media Days. We're going to take a quick break, reset, and we'll be back with coverage. Our first high school up today is going to be Bradley Central at 11 o'clock. We'll be getting started soon. We'll be passing this over on to Steve Hartline. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have a wonderful day and enjoy High School Football Media Day 2024.
Imagine a truck that doesn't just own the road, it dominates it. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. And our new GMC Sierra is elevating every moment of that journey for me. It's not just a truck, it's a lifestyle. Don Ledford didn't just sell me a truck. They saw the lifestyle I wanted, and they found me that truck.
Hey, it's Josh with exciting news from Wholesale Supply. I want to introduce you to Piper's Picks, now available in our Chattanooga, Cleveland, and Dalton markets. Thanks to our partnership with Piper Strummett and our friends at Progress Lighting, Piper's Picks brings you the latest trends and styles in decorative lighting. Browse our curated selection in our showrooms and make lighting your project easier than ever. Visit Wholesale Supply today and discover Piper's Picks, where style meets innovation. To find out more information and a location near you, visit wholesalesupply.us for more.
When the classic flavors of bacon, lettuce, and tomato meet the classic goodness of Hardee's Frisco lineup, you get instant summer favorites. Introducing Hardee's Frisco BLT Angus Burger and Frisco BLT Hand-Breaded Chicken Sandwich.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles, perfectly suited for your adventurous spirit. From powerful SUVs ready to conquer any terrain to your everyday gas-friendly commuters, we have the perfect vehicle to match your lifestyle. This is Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive dreams become reality. Visit one of our 3 locations in Dalton, Chattanooga, and Cleveland today, and let us take your driving experience to new peaks.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Bender Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Bender Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional, knowledgeable, and resourceful advisors to help your dream of calling someplace home. For all things real estate, be home with Bender Realty, 425 25th Street, 423-472-2173, bender-realty.com.
This is John Davis, the trade-in man for Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway, and we will overpay for your old car today. High mileage, cosmetic issues, that's okay. Rusted, busted, can't be trusted, all trade-ins are welcome. Just bring us your old car as is. Don't even wash it. You'll be shocked of how much I'm willing to pay for your old car in any condition. Come see me, John Davis, the trade-in man for Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where selling your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Boom, boom, ba-doom.
All right, good morning and welcome everyone. We are coming to you live from Lifecare Centers of America and their professional development center here in Cleveland. We are welcoming numerous schools, matter of fact, 13 schools beginning right now for what we are calling our Mix 1041, MixTV.tv, as well as ESPN Cleveland 1013, our Southeast Tennessee Football Media Day. We are very thankful to Lifecare Centers of America, President Todd Fletcher and his great staff for allowing us to do this here. They're a great partner of education in this area and all of their areas they're in. Also want to thank Wholesale Supply Group. They make our coverage of high school sports possible. All right, so the way this is going to work, we are going to have a different team come up about every 5 minutes. The coaches will have about 10 minutes. They'll make an opening statement. This word to the media, they'll have an opening statement, and then there'll be questions. We've asked them to bring some players. We really appreciate them doing that. We know we're in the middle of a school day, and I know the students definitely want to get back to school quickly. So anyway, thank you. We are on MixTV.tv right now, and we appreciate you watching. But right now, we're going to begin, not because he's probably the oldest coach, but been there a long time, but we are beginning with Bradley Central High School and the Bears. We're joined now by head coach Damon Floyd. Make him welcome, would you?
Thank you. Thanks, Steve, and Mix TV for putting this event on, and Lifecare for hosting it. When I think of this year's team, I guess the word that comes to mind would be unproven. You know, we've got a lot of guys that will be playing this year that they've got a lot to prove on Friday night, and they don't have a lot of experience. So I'll start with the returning starters. Offensively, we have Chris Myers, who's a junior offensive lineman. We only have one coming back from last year's team. Was voted as a team captain. Defensively, we have 3 returning starters, so a total of obviously 4. Zane McIntosh, who's just going to be a sophomore. We've moved him from defensive line last year to middle linebacker. Probably will move him around quite a bit, honestly, just where we can put him in the kind of position to make some plays and be successful on defense for us. Wiley Suskowicz is another returning starter who's only going to be a junior. He actually didn't start last year until about the fourth or fifth game of the year, and ended up being our leading tackler with over 120 tackles, which says a lot with who he was surrounded with last year and the talent around him. Then we got Mason Gorey, who I brought with me today. He's going to be a 4-year starter at corner for us. He's also going to start on offense this year. He was voted as a team captain. He's going to have to do a lot for us, offense, defense, special teams wise. Probably won't come off the field a whole lot, but been a 4-year starter at corner. Also, Jacob Gentry, another guy I brought with me. Jacob will start at safety for us. He's a senior, also voted as a team captain. He kind of epitomizes what I believe Bradley football is about. A guy that's worked really hard for 4 years, not always the biggest, fastest, strongest, but plays with relentless effort. He's got relatives that played at Bradley, so Bradley football means a lot to him. But just the kind of guy that shows up every day, give everything you got, and like I said before, plays with a relentless effort. I know everybody, when you talk about football, everybody wants to know who the quarterback is. So our starting quarterback this year will be Tyler Cook. He'll be a junior. His future is probably in baseball as a pitcher. He'll probably end up being a pitcher in college. Very strong arm, athletic enough. Not a little bit different than what obviously Caleb was last year. Not quite as fast, but he's athletic enough to move around, so we'll run him a little bit. But his forte is going to be recognizing things at the line of scrimmage and distributing the ball to the right people, getting it in his playmakers' hands, not turning the ball over. And then speaking of playmakers, on the edges, we have Tyrese Stovall, who's a 6'7" wide receiver who'll end up being a Division I basketball player. We've got 4 new starters there this year. The good thing is they're all underclassmen, either sophomores or juniors, so we'll have them for the next couple of years. They've gotten better every day. They still got to get better before we play McMinn next week. Defensively, we'll continue to be very multiple, so we base out of a 3-4, but we'll move a lot of guys around. Quite honestly, we're not the biggest up front, so that's one reason we move a lot. But, defensively, it boils down to being able to get off blocks, defeat blocks, and make tackles. So we're still in the process of trying to get better there. Open with McMinn, like I said, next Thursday night. Obviously, a rival that's been around a long time. I guess is this maybe the longest rivalry continuously played at this point. I think it's the longest rivalry. So, all off season, obviously, I'm sure they're talking about Bradley. We're talking about McMinn, so it ought to be an intense game Thursday night. We did move it to Thursday to try to get a bigger crowd with other local teams playing on Friday. But right now, I guess the biggest thing we're looking for as a team is looking for consistency. Anytime you open up the first game, everybody says your biggest improvements from your first to second. So we're just trying to get those kinks ironed out before the first game and not make too many mistakes. Obviously, as players and coaches, we're excited to get the season started. We're tired of practicing against each other and scrimmaging other teams, and we're excited for next Thursday night. So with that, I will open up for any questions. Yes.
When you were at Bradley playing, UTC playing, when did you make up your mind you wanted to be a coach?
I don't remember those days. Actually, that's a long time ago. As Steve pointed out, I'm one of the oldest in the room now. So, honestly, when I was playing, I never thought about it. When I got done in college, I went into sales for 3 or 4 years and realized that I missed just being part of the team. And obviously, football meant a lot to me. I had a lot of mentors along the way that I played for that meant a lot to me in my life. So during those 3 or 4 years that I was away from football, I realized that I enjoyed it, or I loved it. And it wasn't just the football part. It was just, like I mentioned, being part of the team. And I know the head coach gets a lot of credit and a lot of criticism over time, but really it is just being part of it.
Coach?
Yes.
Losing the talent you lost last year, how's the offense going to change a little bit? Because it's not maybe having as much dynamic as it did last year in options.
Oh, it's definitely changing without Boo. But, that's part of high school football. We've got to adapt to what we have. Like I mentioned, I do feel like we have guys that can make plays. I think, honestly, our running back position is probably deep as it's ever been, but we're not going to replace Boo. I mean, we never will. You know, you don't get a player like that very often. So we're going to be a lot more multiple. You know, last year we were able to spread it out and kind of let Caleb make some decisions and keep people spread out and count the box. So we'll be very multiple. We will a lot of times be 12 personnel and then may shift to 10 personnel, 11 personnel, one back, 2 tight ends, those kind of things. So we have got to find a way to create some mismatches and create extra gaps for us to be successful on offense. And like I mentioned with Tyler earlier, he's got to make decisions based on what we're seeing up front and be able to make some checks and audibles to put us in a position to succeed. So long story short, yeah, we can't replace Boo, and we know that. We're not asking the guys to be Boo. They need to be themselves. That's our job as coaches, to try to put them in a situation to be successful. It starts with Landon Scott. He'll be a senior. And then we got Brayshawn Beard, who'll be running the ball. Peyton Parker-Price. We had Kenyon Phelps move in, transferred into us from Alabama this year. Really strong kid that can be able to run the ball for us. So we've got 4 or 5 guys. Hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Am I missing anybody? 4 or 5 guys that we feel confident about. But once again, like I mentioned in the opening statement, is we got to prove it. Like, these guys are unproven. You know, in practice, sometimes we look really good. Other times we look really bad. So the consistency is the thing that we're trying to focus on right now. And we've got a lot of guys that, quite honestly, we've got to figure out as the season goes of who that man will be, you know, because in practice we don't touch each other a lot. I mean, you try to keep everybody healthy for the first game, so we don't know who's going to show up every Friday and be able to take that pounding at our level and compete on a consistent basis. So we have 4 or 5 guys that we feel like can do it, but whoever steps up as the season goes along, I can't honestly answer that question right now.
All right. Thank you, coaches. Give me a big hand. That's great. Thank you, guys. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to have Cleveland High School get ready, and we're going to take probably about a 3-4 minute break here and change over. And then we'll come back. If you're watching us live on mixtv.tv right now, just stick in here with us. But Cleveland High School is up next.
Imagine a truck that doesn't just own the road, it dominates it. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. And our new GMC Sierra is elevating every moment of that journey for me. It's not just a truck, it's a lifestyle. Don Ledford didn't just sell me a truck. They saw the lifestyle I wanted, and they found me that truck.
Hey, it's Josh with exciting news from Wholesale Supply. I want to introduce you to Piper's Picks, now available in our Chattanooga, Cleveland, and Dalton markets. Thanks to our partnership with Piper Strummett and our friends at Progress Lighting, Piper's Picks brings you the latest trends and styles in decorative lighting. Browse our curated selection in our showrooms and make lighting your project easier than ever. Visit Wholesale Supply today and discover Piper's Picks, where style meets innovation. To find out more information and a location near you, visit wholesalesupply.us for more.
When the classic flavors of bacon, lettuce, and tomato meet the classic goodness of Hardee's Frisco lineup, you get instant summer favorites. Introducing Hardee's Frisco BLT Angus Burger and Frisco BLT hand-breaded chicken sandwich.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles, perfectly suited for your adventurous spirit. From powerful SUVs ready to conquer any terrain to your everyday gas-friendly commuters, we have the perfect vehicle to match your lifestyle. This is Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive dreams become reality. Visit one of our 3 locations in Dalton, Chattanooga, and Cleveland today, and let us take your driving experience to new peaks.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Vendor Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Vendor Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks for having me. I think that, whoa, the mic's hot. This is the first time doing this, right, Steve? So this is great. So it's 13 schools that are coming through today for the MyMix area. Really excited about that. Really excited about ESPN Cleveland. So congratulations to Steve and all the MyMix employees for getting that done. Neat seeing all these kids. Honestly, this is a great way to promote high school football in our area. There are so many teams that we're passionate about, especially in Bradley County with our 3 schools, but then also it's good seeing McMinn, Ooltewah, East Hamilton. I saw I walked in the door. This is awesome. If you can promote high school kids, this is the best sport ever invented for young men, and the more promotion we can do for them is really exciting. I'm super excited to bring 2 guys here. We've got Isaiah Davis, is a senior running back, defensive back, and Sam Sarton, a senior tight end and middle linebacker for us this year. So please ask them questions because I want to make sure they have to speak in front of everybody. So that's going to be a good thing there. We got a lot of good things going on at Cleveland, so we're really working on trying to focus on our feeder programs, some of our K through 12 stuff that we're doing. We added 9th grade football last year. We've added 6th grade football this year. We've added a second 8U team and on feeding the kids. So my wife was very fortunate to get that done with Bradley County Services, so I want to give them a shout out for feeding the kids every single day, and we've got a lot of good things. We've got 14 seniors this year. We bring back the majority of the offense from last year, our starting kicker, holder, and snapper, but we do have 10 new starters on defense, so that's going to be exciting to see those kids this year. But we're fired up. We've got a scrimmage tonight against Boyd Buchanan, state runner-up from last year, and then we open next Friday here at home against Clinton with the new LED lights and all kind of the cool stuff that we got going. So we're excited for football to start at Cleveland, and appreciate you guys for being here. Is there any questions for us? Terry?
Between year 1 and year 2.
There's a massive difference. I've told some people I don't want to do a year 1 again for a very long time. This was our 3rd time doing it in 6 years, and there's a lot of process that has to go into it, a lot of change, and a lot of buy-in. And honestly, Isaiah might be a good one to talk about that because, they came in last year and new coach, new ideas, and it's totally different, and he actually had some adversity. But I can say that this man has bought into what our vision is, and he's done an incredible job to where now we don't do team captains, but he would be the equivalent of the team captain if we had to choose one. And so I think Isaiah can probably speak about the difference between year 1 and year 2. Yeah, there you go, man.
From year 1, the whole team really wasn't bought in on what he was breaking in, because he would have these crazy plays nobody would really know about, and we have a play called circus, and it's just I'll do a cartwheel middle of the play, and it's what are we doing here? We're trying to win the football game, but now as the year how we came together, and then me and him got closer, the whole team got closer, everybody's really bought in year 2, and I feel like it's going to be a great season. That's what I think about the 2 years.
Good question. Anybody else? Terry?
Thoughts on this season?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is my 2nd year. I transferred up last year. We have a lot of new people on defense, like I said, myself. I'm just excited for this year. I feel like we have a lot of people, a lot more leaders this year. And, yeah, I'm just excited for the year, and I feel like we have a really big season ahead. So, yeah.
I like putting them on the spot. That's good stuff. Cool. Anybody else? Yeah.
So I know that we've talked a few times, and I know that you guys are working on doing a lot of new things for your players. I know that we've got the lights coming this year at Cleveland High School. We've also got the barber shop. I know you guys are doing a bunch of games, and I've got the, PlayStations and having all those tournaments and stuff. I just wanted to ask your kids, kind of, what does that mean to them to be able to play at a place that has all these, kind of amenities and fun things and trying to create that culture at Cleveland?
He asked you guys.
It's really great because we can normally we don't stay after practice to play or anything or come together as a team. But now we go in there, play the game, stay team bonding and everything like that. So I really think it's good with all the stuff we got because most schools don't have that. So we're blessed to have all that stuff.
Yeah, what Zay said, we find ourselves hanging out there a lot together. It's which just helps us with team bonding and all that. So it's really cool to have all that stuff around. It means a lot to us, and it's the lights and stuff. Not a lot of people have. So it kind of makes us feel like we're in college sometimes. So it's really cool to have all that stuff and these new nice uniforms this year that we get to wear. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and honestly, what we say is we ask a lot of the kids. A lot of the times on social media, you just see the fun stuff or you see the barbershop and you think that's what we're all about. A lot of times we're not posting all the hard work that goes behind it. So because I ask so much for the boys, we try to reward them with the nice things. And at the same time, with our team, at least I'd say there's a large percentage of the team that they need to eat every day. And so we want to make sure we're feeding them out of the field house. We want to make sure the field house is as nice as it can be. We put up TVs and couches so it feels like their living room, so they want to be there. At some of the other programs we've taken over, as soon as practice ends, if the entire team is immediately out the door as soon as practice is over, then it's just not really the vibe that we want. And so instead, we want to be where, hey guys, we want to go home, like y'all got to go home, and we're kicking them out because they want to hang out together. If you're just playing for the 10 to 15 games that you play a year, football's the wrong sport. You do all this work for 10 days a year. And so you need to make the other 350 days as fun and entertaining as possible. And all the stories that they're going to tell when they graduate is going to be, hey, remember when this happened in the field house this time? Or remember when we, Isaiah got a penalty in the scrimmage last week and we had to roll 200 yards. So those are the stories that they're going to be telling. And so that's why we do all this stuff. That's a good question. Yes, sir.
Coach, you have just come out of the Murfreesboro area, a real hotbed of Tennessee high school football, into another area of pretty tough 6A football. And would you take just a minute and compare and contrast maybe the style of play, or did you have to change any of your preparation from your time at Blackburn to coming here to Cleveland, or how does this Southeast Tennessee and on up to Knoxville and Maryville compare with the greater Murfreesboro area?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've also been in other states, so you can compare it to I've been in private schools, I've been in public schools, and you hear those debates a lot. And then now coming from Murfreesboro to here, there's a lot of similarities, but there are some differences. Murfreesboro takes their football very seriously, especially media-wise. So every coach had to show up on Saturday mornings at 8:30 in the morning and talk about the game the night before and see all the coaches you just played. So that made some interesting, conversations at 8 a.m. After that, but they take it all very seriously. They live stream a lot of the games. The students really show out and support all the Murfreesboro schools, and so you're going to make $25,000 a gate per team up there. So financially, it's a little different. The population growth has exploded in Middle Tennessee, so you see them tons of 4- and 5-star players and lots of Division I athletes coming out of there. We signed, I believe, 9 on my second year at Blackman, multiple Power 5 guys. That's a little more common there but it's changing. So I would argue that our region that we play in right now with us, Bradley, Farragut, HVA, Maryville, Bearden, is more difficult than the one we came from, which was Blackman, Oakland, Rockville, Riverdale, Siegel. Every single team, there's no off weeks in our region. You're going to play Maryville, who's won 15 state titles. You're going to play Bearden, who has just as many 4 stars and 5 stars as Riverdale or Oakland does. It's so competitive in both areas. I will say I think the passion in Bradley County is very strong, and it's super exciting. That's why we came. It's Friday Night Lights, in Cleveland, whether it's us or Bradley or Walker Valley. and I haven't been to McMinn, but we're going this year, and I've heard the story since I've been here, so I know it's going to be a tough game. So it's very challenging to play football here, and everyone cares a lot, and I think it's really starting to crank up. I think all the teams are doing really well. You got some great coaches that are here in this area. I mean, even these guys sitting behind it that are in Chattanooga, like Coach Nance and Goose behind you guys. So this is awesome. That I really feel like this area is on the come up, and we'd like to be taking it to Murfreesboro. So you don't have the same two teams playing in the semifinals, or like we did until last year, where Bradley County did really well. So
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Go Raiders.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys. So when you're finished with your presentation, coaches and players who are here, Coach Tygart, if you guys will go over, they'd like your picture in front of the ESPN banner. Also, lunch is here. We appreciate our friends from Chick-fil-A. So when you get ready, especially those of you who may be waiting, feel free. It's right out this door and to the right. All right, we're just going to continue on right into it, and we are going to welcome Walker Valley High School, and so we're going to get this set up here again. If you're watching us, we are live on mixtv.tv from Lifecare Centers of America. We appreciate President Todd Fletcher and his staff for welcoming us here today, and Lifecare, a big part of what happens with not only high school athletics, but what happens in our area. So we appreciate being here very much. And now we're joined by Walker Valley head coach Drew Akins. Make him welcome.
Want to start out just saying thank you. This is a really cool event. We've done this in our region a few years in a row now, but to be able to do this, as an area and to invite all the schools from around our area is really cool. It gives these guys a great opportunity to meet each other, to see the teams, see the guys behind the helmets. So it's a really cool event, and I'm really appreciative for Mr. Hartline and Mix 104.1 hosting this. Two guys I brought today, Hudson McCooch. Hudson McCooch played receiver for us last year. Was a big-time playmaker for us over the last year. Had over 40 catches, over 800 yards, and 10 touchdowns last year. Was a huge part of our offense, and obviously going to count on him again in our offense. The other one is Zeke Garrison. Zeke has played for us now for 2 years as a starter. Started as a sophomore. Kind of the heart and soul behind our defense. Gives us the energy and just is a playmaker defensively for us. So really excited to be here. I wanted to give the most time just to answer questions. Kind of something I thought of as I was coming in today is with my position on the Tennessee Football Coaches Association board, I know a lot of the big picture things going around where it comes to high school football and the changes that are happening in high school football and the kind of the shift towards what the NCAA looks like. And I know there's coaches fighting that, and I know there's coaches that are for that. And trying to find the balance of that in high school football is something that's been really difficult. And I like the big picture items. So if there's any question on that, I'd love to give you kind of the insight from the Coaches Association side. But in the end, again, just excited to celebrate these players, not only from Walker Valley, but from across our area. Yes, sir.
Coach, some of the changes you expect in football, high school, Tennessee in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think as I brought that up, there are definitely shifts in at least the talk. I think the number one thing that you're seeing right now is the transfer rule. I think the TWSA is really heavily looking at the transfer rule in a couple different ways. I used to honestly thought, hey, the TWSA just wants to open it up and make it open to everybody, which is what Florida high school football is. You hear horror stories in Florida right now of a kid playing at 4 different high schools in 4 years. You hear about it playing football at one school in the fall and then a different school for baseball in the spring, or running track in the spring with somebody else. So there's a fear of that with coaches around our area. As I talk to coaches about what they would like to see and There's definitely differing opinions. I think everyone wants the kid to have opportunity, but also wants to understand that we've got to have some type of rule so it doesn't become wild, wild west. I think there's some options. If you open it up fully, no change of address, you don't have to do anything to change schools. All that has to happen is the school lets you in. I think that's an extreme version of that, and I don't think that's something we want to go towards as a high school, a group of high schools, an association. But there's definitely that on the table that we've got to be aware of and that we got to understand. So I think the transfer rule is the biggest one that we're looking at. There's other things happening, with schedules, and those aren't as fun and not as interesting to talk about. But there's definitely some transition going on in high school football that coaches need to be aware of and coaches need to talk about and voice their opinion on.
Coach, you got a new man under center this year. Has the team rallied behind him and supported him like he needs?
Yeah, I'm going to let these guys talk about that too, but I love what I've seen from Dawson Stum over the last really week. I think there were some nerves going in over the July 7-on-7 period where we weren't seeing quite what we needed to see out of Dawson. His tempo was really slow. We couldn't get him to speed up. And since Friday, I've seen Dawson have a great scrimmage against Ringgold on Friday, and then has had 3 outstanding practices this week. And so it's almost like a switch flipped, and he understands the tempo that he has to play at. Nobody works harder than this kid right here beside me, Hudson McCooch. Man, every time I'm up at the facility, that kid's up there working, and I think that's something that him and Dawson have done a lot of. I want him to talk about how hard Dawson's worked and the relationship that they've built up. So, Hudson.
So, obviously, when you lose a quarterback, it's kind of a big hole, but with Dawson, I don't really see there being that big of a hole. He's stepped right into the spot. He has all the potential we need, and everybody's really rallying behind him, like Coach said, and supporting him in his starting role now. I feel like he has really good work ethic every single time that maybe like I'm tired or I'm sore, I'm hurt from the night before. He's hitting me up. He's like, let's get out there, let's get out there. We're always out there working on what we need to work on. If we mess up, we're out there fixing it. And I think he's just he has all the pieces he needs to start right now. He has the great O-line, they're all returning. I feel like he has great opportunity and all the potential to be great this year.
All right. Thank you guys for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cleveland and Bradley County, for supporting Bender Realty for the last 55 years. More than ever, we are ready and prepared to help our community be home. The real estate market is changing and evolving, and the Bender Realty family is ready to help navigate today's market by providing professional, knowledgeable, and resourceful advisors to help your dream of calling someplace home. For all things real estate, be home with Bender Realty, 425 25th Street, 423-472-2173, bender-realty.com.
Imagine it.
Everyone here, not just the players and schools, that sort of thing. When you're finished with your presentation, please go to our ESPN Cleveland banner there and get ready to do that. All right. Also, Ryan, thank you. Ryan Felton is handling our microphone for questions. If you're in the media and you have a question, then please raise your hand and they will bring a microphone to you so everyone can hear. All right, we're going to get our Meigs County presentation right now, and we have head coach Nathan Simbeck. Make the coach welcome, please.
Just want to start off saying thank you to everybody here having us here. This is really cool. It's good for our program, good for our kids. I'll just talk a little bit about our team. This is my first year here at Meigs County High School. We're a pretty inexperienced football team right now, but I think we're hungry. I think we have some talent and ability that's being developed in our younger classes. On offense, we have 6 new starters. Up front, we returned 2 starters, and we have 1 one of our guards who's never played offensive line playing there. We have another sophomore who is playing. Very pleased with the progress that they've had. That's probably the hardest position to play in football because there's a lot that goes on to that. You know, people change fronts, people bring blitzes. So those guys got to communicate and be all on the same page to get stuff blocked up, and they got to make that decision in just a few seconds. So we've been very pleased with their progression so far. At receiver, we return one starter, Daniel Mao. He's been really good for us. He's been our slot receiver, been a guy that catches stuff on jet sweeps, our perimeter screens, things like that. And then we have two other new additions, Brody Goins, who is going to be a junior. He's a baseball player. He came out this past year. He's been really good for us. He's a sure-handed receiver. And Bowen Combs, who is really fast. He's been a baseball standout for us. So we feel like we're pretty athletic at that position, and we're pretty strong there too. At our tight end H-back, we have a few guys that are going to sort of platoon that position: Landon Ricker, River Hickman, and Hunter Boyd. And then our H-back position will be Keegan Linker, and Hunter Boyd will serve there as well. Those are really strong kids. They play defense for us, so we kind of got to rotate them in that position. And then our quarterback position, our starting quarterback will be Tough Ricker. He played receiver for us last year. He's a really gifted kid. He could throw the football really well. Right now, he's just having to transition from not ever playing quarterback. He can make plays with his legs. He's done a good job throwing the ball downfield for us. So we're really happy about him. I think it makes it a lot harder on defenses when your quarterback is a dual threat. So hopefully we can keep him healthy and he can continue to produce for us. At our running back position is probably where we have the most experience is Bryson Hefner. He is probably the heart and soul of our team. He plays linebacker for us on defense. He runs extremely hard. He'll block. There's times where I think I need to get him out of the game because I think he's about to die, but he just keeps on going. So really love the heart of that young man. And then on defense, we have 6 new starters as well. We have a whole new secondary this year, so that's been a challenge, and 7-on-7's been good for us. I think we've come along there pretty good. At linebacker, we have Bryson Hefner and Keegan Linker. Those are very physical football players. At our outside linebackers, Tough Ricker and Monty Couture will be starting there. They've done some good things for us, being able to play out in space. And our defensive line's probably our best position as a team. It's Landon Ricker, River Hickman, Hunter Boyd, and Lucas Hughes. Those guys have all played that position before. They played it last year. Those are 3 starters returning there. They've done a good job for us. They're hard to block. On defense, I'll just kind of talk about what we do. We try to be multiple. We try to mix up different fronts. All of it's the same. We just get into it different ways. I think it's really good to keep people off balance. I know from calling plays, it's not very fun when you don't know what the other team's doing and why they're doing it. Now, you don't want to get crazy with it and not get good at anything, but I think it's always good to be multiple in that way. And same thing on offense. We want to play with different personnel groupings. We want to keep people off balance, like Coach Floyd said earlier. I think when you can create extra gaps and you can create mismatches, you're always going to be in an advantageous situation. So special teams, our kicker's returning, and that's always good. Michael Krasauskas, so we're happy about that. Anytime you have a good kicker, he's a weapon. So we're excited. This team is hungry. This team feels like it is unproven as well, and so we look forward to this year and getting to play on Friday nights. I'll open it up at this time for any questions.
Coach, who is the biggest rival, and is the game at Meggs this year or on the road?
Our biggest rival is probably McMinn Central, I'd say, and they're coached really well. Matt Moody does a tremendous job. He was offensive coordinator for Coach Floyd at Bradley Central. I think with them, you just got to come to the conclusion that they're going to score points, and you got to figure out how to find a way to get a few stops in the game. But we're looking forward to that rivalry. They're returning a whole lot of kids from last year, and they're a very talented team.
Coach, you know, we've carried your games now for 7 or 8 years through the past, but
I wanted to ask you, I see you brought a couple of your best players today, and your coach put me up to that, so I'm sorry. But I do want to ask you, having been there calling the game for the last couple of years, been so close in the final games, how would you compare what you think this team is going to be for this year and say the past couple of years?
I don't know. If I knew the answer to that question, I'd probably make a whole lot more money and I wouldn't be coaching here. I think we have the talent and ability to do as much as we want to do. What we have to do is mature as a football team, make sure we practice consistently each and every day, make sure we take care of the football and things like that. I certainly think the talent is there, and I think we have a good group of kids. But we need to stay healthy. We need a couple things to go our way, and I think we could be in that same position. All right. Thank you, guys.
If you're watching us live, we are on mixtv.tv. Thanks again, Lifecare Centers of America. We also appreciate the media who has gathered from around the area. And obviously, our coaches and our teams, we could not do this without you. And we appreciate Chick-fil-A. And we've got, of course, lunch for everyone. All right. I believe we are ready. So now we are joined by Coach Nance and East Hamilton High School. Make them welcome, would you?
Appreciate you guys having us. I will admit, feel like a little bit of an outsider being a first Hamilton County school up here. And the Cleveland Media Day, but this is a good event. We appreciate you guys having us. It's been very well run, and so I brought 4 players up here. I got Zane James, our everything in the secondary, plays corner, plays safety, plays slot receiver as well. Quillian Townsend, a D-end and right tackle. CJ Drake, our D tackle and left guard, and Andrew Gilbert, our center, and also flips over and plays nose guard as well on defense. My first time this year to have a full off season with our guys. It's been a good off season. We really hit the weight room hard. I got hired last year and got into building on May 1st. Turned around 3 days later and started spring ball. We were just trying to catch up and get as much done as we possibly could, as fast as we could do it. Been really good this year to actually get an off season with the guys and get our culture set the way we want it. And get in that weight room and build some strength and some size, and we feel good about that, where we're at with that. And our guys got a rude awakening last year to the new region that we moved up to, going from 4A to 5A, and the style of football is different. And Coach Cagle's sitting up here. I mean, it's smash mouth football in our region, with Walker Valley in there, with Ray County as well, McMinn County. So it was a big style of football that changed that we have to adapt to, and our kids kind of know what's up ahead of them this year. We got a challenge with our schedule. Only 4 home games. We're going to be road warriors this year. We're going to Marion County week 2 on the road, then Franklin County. So back-to-back weeks of Central Time Zone games, getting home late. Our guys, we've talked about it all year and preparing for that. So we know what's ahead of us, and we know kind of where we need to be and what we got to get to. So we're just, like I said, this offseason been really working to get there. And at this time, we'll take questions. Please ask these kids questions. They heard Chick-fil-A. They're ready to go eat. I brought 3 linemen up here.
Your schedule, non-region, you mentioned Marion County and Franklin, and so a pretty tough non-region schedule.
Oh, yeah, and also Sevier County coming down. And Sevier County had a really good team last year. They're a big physical football team. They got a running back transferred in from, I believe, Gatlinburg Pittman. That was a big-time rushing guy last year with all kinds of yards. And they got a quarterback that was a freshman last year, threw for a lot of yards, and I think he picked up an offer from Virginia Tech. So we're going to be challenged there in our non-region schedule for sure. We open up with Hickson as well, our first home game of the year next Friday, and they have a good football team. Coach Rivers done a good job there. They're coming by later today. I believe they won 8 ball games last year, so they're a football team that's got a new coach last year, and they're also on the rise as well. So we're going to be challenged in our non-region as well, definitely.
Coach, when you have a team that goes up to 5A now, what's something in your mindset that has to change on that level?
The main thing that sticks out to me is just weight room and player development. Because we're playing teams, you know, we've been historically been in 4A for a long time. I knew we had to get our roster numbers up and get some more depth. You know, last year I took 36 kids to a first-round playoff game against Oak Ridge. This year our roster's up to about 72 kids right now. So we've got some kids out. We've got some player buy-in, some commitment, so we feel good about where we're at as far as just getting the numbers up in the program to get us prepared and get us ready for the season, because it takes a lot of depth to make it through a season, especially a schedule that we have, and we didn't have that depth last year.
And for you guys as the players, what does that mean, having a deeper roster and knowing there's more guys around you when you go out there each Friday night?
I just think it's a big deal, like coming into practice, having like a more depth scout team, better players, helps us prepare for the games a little bit better. And then going up to games, we have people on the sidelines cheering for us, having more players. It just brings the spirits up, helps us play a lot better.
Which game are you guys most looking forward to just to play? Who's that team on the schedule that stands out for you?
Honestly, you know, we always look forward for the next game, so whoever we're looking forward to playing next, which would be Hickson, so we're really ready to play against them and showcase our talents to everybody for the first opening game.
Good deal. Appreciate you guys having us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Appreciate East Hamilton coming. We're going to have East Ridge High School coming up here in just a moment. First of all, we appreciate you joining us live here on mixtv.tv, as this is our first media day, and we appreciate everyone coming, everyone watching, as we are, I understand, getting quite a few comments, people excited, as the high school football campaign will begin actually a week from today, and we're looking forward to that. Tomorrow morning, we'll also be talking high school football on Mix 104.1 and mixtv.tv beginning at 7. And then at 8 o'clock, the voice of the Volunteers, Bob Kessling, will join us for his annual visit. All right, we're now going to be joined by East Ridge coach Chad Barger, and please make him welcome.
Let me adjust the microphone a little bit, guys. Guys, thanks for having us out. You know, anytime we can talk about our kids at East Ridge, it's a great day. We've got some really, really good kids, really sound football players at East Ridge. So we like to talk about our guys and just open it up. You know, numbers-wise, we're pretty small this year. We have about 30 football players on roster right now for a 4A school, so that's a big concern. But you know, what we have coming back, we've got a lot of skill kids, a lot of speed on the field. Those kind of things. So, you know, it does make you look forward to it as a coach. And, you know, some of those guys, we have one of our running backs coming back. He was the region newcomer of the year last year in Tyreek Wise Bridges, two-way player. You know, he also returns kicks and punts. He's pretty dynamite with the football in his hands. You know, we have a new quarterback. We were hit pretty hard with graduation. We have 5 seniors on our football team right now. So, you know, we were hit pretty hard with graduation last year with 13 seniors graduating. But our new quarterback, DeMarcus Scruggs, has done well in this preseason and done well in scrimmages and things. So we're looking for a lot of things out of him. He's a little different type kid than we had last year. You know, our quarterback the last 2 years is more of a running back playing quarterback. So we're kind of shifting a little bit more to more of a pro style type quarterback. But overall, our kids are pretty, pretty set on what we're doing, pretty bought in on what we're doing. We're pretty excited, and we're bringing them along. Those young guys are coming along, and of course, with our season, the way it's going to be, will depend on how quickly those young guys mature. We can open up for some questions.
Coach, when you are operating a program that is smaller like that, and like you said, younger this season, what is something you emphasize a little more in practice?
Well, I mean, the big thing is you just focus on the fundamentals, number one. And two, obviously, your contact has to be regulated even more, because you definitely don't want to beat each other up in practice and things like that, but you still want to be physical and try to be physical. And the style of play we run, I mean, we're a shotgun wing T. So we're wanting to get downhill and run power and buck and counter and things. So we still want to be a physical football team, yet we're still kind of regulating our physicality in practice.
As you look ahead on your schedule, what's something that stands out to you for this year?
Well, I told him, I said, I make a joke because this is my third year as the head coach at East Ridge, and whoever made this last schedule screwed up. But our first 5 games are pretty brutal. I mean, we open up with Marion County, then we're at Sequatchie County, then we have Red Bank, then we have Loudon, and then East Hamilton. Just bang, 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 5 straight games. So, that's a tough road to hold. And, that's the big thing you got to continually preach to your kids. I mean, you can't have any kind of lack, because you got to get after it. All those guys and all those teams are going to be physical. They're going to be well coached. So, the big thing is we can't allow ourselves to lack a little bit. So we've got to really push forward with our guys.
Thank you, Coach, very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. We're going to be joined by McMinn County High School, and we will get set up here. Again, we are live from Lifecare Centers of America, Lifecare. We appreciate them welcoming us here. Also, we'll have more coverage of this event later this afternoon on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. And as we get set up here, we are joined now by McMinn County and head football coach Bo Cagle from the Cherokees. Bo, over to you. Wakey, welcome.
All your friends are playing. All my friends, yeah, both of them. All right, thank you guys. It's always good to be here, getting to do this before the season. I know everybody's excited. It's been a long time since we've strapped on the helmets and gotten after it. So I know I'm excited. I'm excited about these guys sitting up here and the rest of them back in Athens, maybe listening to this. I got 3 pretty good guys here. 2 of them seniors. We expect these guys to be leaders. Jacob Sharp and Cam Miller. Both of these guys played for me for a long time. I don't make them happy all the time. They don't make me happy all the time. But I think we've got a pretty good relationship. I think everybody knows the guy on the right there, Cameron Goforth, one of our offensive linemen. And, we're going to lean on these 3 a lot throughout the year. Our team, if we thought about our strengths from just returning from last year, I think both sides of our lines are pretty good. We lost 3 out of our 5 offensive linemen, but the 3 that we've plugged back in, I think are going to be pretty good. And so we'll be able to still kind of lean on those guys. We'll have to early to keep, get our quarterback play where it needs to be. Sharp here, he'll be all over the field. He's playing corner. We got him in Sam linebacker some, returning kicks and punts and playing the slot receiver. We'll put him in the backfield, so he'll have multiple places. I think we kind of knew those 2 are Goforth and Sharp coming in the season. I think one of the surprises would be Cam Miller, and not necessarily defense, because he was a defensive guy and he played a lot of offense for us last year, but his ability to be out in space and catch passes, and you saw him. He's kind of a big guy to put out on the perimeter. I think we're looking for some mismatches that way with him. So he's been a surprise in that. I'll talk about our defensive line. You know, we had, I can't remember exactly how many we got coming back from last year on either side. It was somewhere in the middle, 5 or 6. But our defensive line had probably as much depth as we've had in a long time. We had like 6 or 7 defensive linemen that could play, to where we started kind of moving them around to get a little bit, put them in linebackers to move them, to get them all on the field at the same time. So I think that was a plus. We're going, obviously, with the loss of Landon Fagans there at UTC now, that was a big loss for our defense. But like I've told him, I mean, we're not trying to replace him with one player. You know, it's going to be a team effort. And you know, and I tell people all the time, it's not the numbers, it's how hard he plays. So if we can just keep playing hard like he did, I think our defense will be all right and get better. Now, it's all going to be a learning process. So we're not where we need to be right now. I think these guys would say that. But you know, we're working to get there. You know, I always put them when October gets here, it's when we need to be playing our best football. We should be getting better every time we walk out on the field. These guys, now I think some people have talked about the style of football that we play. That doesn't change. I think Coach Barger was talking about having to lay off the guys, and I can understand that with those little players. And our guys were kind of chuckling that they got to be physical at practice too. And we lose people. We lose people at practice a lot. But, you know, why we do what we do, we're not going out there just to have fun on Fridays. We're going to do it all week. And if we're going to be physical Monday through Thursday, we get to do it on Friday too. And those guys, they know that. We practice that way. And you know, the culture of our team has always been that. We're going to run the football. We're going to be as physical. And our goal every year to be the most physical team on the field every single Friday night. Both sides of the ball, run the football, stop the run, and see if we can compete that way. Has anybody got any questions for me? I was really happy I didn't follow Cleveland, because our kids were over there going, Coach Wayne, we got all that stuff. I said, I don't even know what to, I said, well, we ain't getting couches. We did get LED lights, but they don't flash, but you can turn them on and off. You know, we spent a whole bunch of money on the weight room, right? And it is state of the art. If you get to come to Athens and see that, that is, I mean, that's a lot of pride in that thing, and you can see it pays off for us. Yes, sir.
What year is this for you? How many have you coached up there?
This is year 18. This is 18. Damon still got me, though. He's 19. Wow. Yeah. That's what he said. He's the oldest one up there. He's just, you know, he's a year before me. So.
Coach, with the change to who's in 5A more recently, what does that mean for your preparation when it just changes around like that?
Nothing. You know, if we could be in 6A, and our preparation would be the same. In fact, I think, I'll just say it. I was listening to Coach Nance talk about his schedule, and I was thinking, yeah, that's bad, but here's our non-region schedule. Okay, so we got Bradley first, week 1, Cleveland week 2, Tyner week 3, Oak Ridge week 5, Powell week 9, or week 10. So, you know, we could lose all of those games very, very easily and still be region champions. So, I mean, it's definitely, you can't, we've played, for most of my career here, we've played in the top classification. So, we know how to prepare for those games week in and week out, and it's a battle, and it's a bloodbath sometimes, and to make it, and even on top of that, we had Boyd Buchanan, we had Anderson County, and we got Red Bank tonight as a scrimmages going into the season. Can we get to October healthy is the question. And if we can, we'll be tough kids if we can make it that far.
For you guys, I know he said a couple of you guys play both sides of the ball. What changes in your preparation knowing you're going to be out there for that much of the game each week?
Is it on? Yeah. I'd probably say trying to be in the best shape possible. You know, we
we run a lot. We run on Tuesdays, Mondays we do gassers. Tuesdays we're on the track or we're on the field running. I'd probably say getting as many reps in practice as you can on both sides of the ball is a big deal because, like Coach said, we're going the whole week. We're physical all week, so trying to take those hits during practice is a big thing, you know, so our bodies can withstand that type of blow when it comes to Friday nights. Also, a big thing is making sure that we eat the right stuff, drink the right stuff, definitely staying hydrated. I'd say I'd say our teammates really help us the most. Our scout team, we have a whole lot of players that they have the potential to be starters, but we just have we have so much depth that it's just no spot on the field for them at the time, but they definitely make us better every day. They try us, so they test us to the best of our ability, and that definitely helps us.
I mean, can I talk on that? I think then they know this too, because the importance that we put on the weight room. And it's from November until August that they prepare their bodies to be able to play both ways. And I think that's probably the most important thing that we do to get them prepared to be able to play the style of football that I ask them to play.
Bo, I go way back with Bradley McMahon competition in anything. And it didn't take me very long, 50 years ago, to find out that the Bradley McMahon rivalry in any sport is something special. A lot of schools don't have that. But my question is this. Do you, as a coach, do you have to do any teaching to the youngsters, 14 and 15-year-olds coming into your program about how special that rivalry is? I know your seniors probably pick up on it. Have you seen any drop-off in the 18 or 20 years since you first started at McMahon?
Well, it's funny. I used to do that. I used to go in, and I probably will. You know, game week, you start talking about some things that have to do with the past and nostalgia and all those things. But there's nothing, and I'm not going to say anything that they wouldn't say too. It's good old-fashioned hate. And if we can win any game in our community, it's that one. It's that one, and it doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't mean a thing. I was talking to these guys, and, man, it broke my heart the other day to know that our seniors haven't beaten Bradley yet. They haven't gotten that chance to do that yet. So I don't per se anymore. I really did, but I think everybody kind of knows that comes through McMahon that this is the game. For it to be the first game of the year, it's fun, but I remember when it was the last game of the year for a region championship. And now that was big time, and that was fun. But for us to always agree, it's always every time that we have to schedule each other, we're going to play at some point. Damon loves it. I love it. I love playing against those guys more than anything else. And I hope that rubs off on it. It usually does. You know, we're not going to treat it like a different game. It's just fun to play a team like that. Special, yes, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
I went over time, didn't I?
What?
I was long-winded.
You did good. No, it was good. Let's hear it for him. That's Coach Bo Cagle. Thank you for coming down.
I have schedules.
Yeah, please. And you guys head over to the banner over there, get a shot. All right, we are joined now by, we're going to be joined by Ooltewah High School and Coach Manning and his players. We really appreciate them coming up. Again, if you're watching on mixtv.tv, you are watching us live from Lifecare Centers of America. Again, a complete recap of this afternoon. And today will be on ESPN Cleveland, 101.3 at 5 o'clock on The Drive, presented by Hardee's. And now, Coach Manning from Ooltewah High School. Coach?
I appreciate y'all having us, Steve. Thanks for doing this event. Usually our region hosts a region media day, and we weren't able to do that this year. Just I'll be honest with you, I had a baby at the same time we were supposed to have that, and it was my first kid, so that kind of took priority in me hosting it. So thank you for allowing us to talk about our kids. Anytime we get a chance to do that, we really want to. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. I'm just going to kind of give you a brief kind of overview of our kids, and then I brought them out of school. So if y'all got questions for them, I'd love to ask them, you guys ask them questions. Mainly two of them don't really like to talk a whole lot, so that's why I picked those guys. So real quick, last year we didn't do everything that we should have done. There was a lot of stuff offensively that we hung our defense out to dry. I think at one point our defense was giving up 8, 9, 10 points a game, something like that, especially against our region guys. And offensively, we couldn't help them out. That was a coaching mistake. Our kids did everything they should have done, and I've been pretty transparent about that. And now, like I said, we've taken some steps to fix those things. We brought 2 new guys in on staff. Josh Roberts, who's been the head coach at Signal Mountain for 7 or 8 years. He's taken over kind of our offensive coordinator, offensive line role. He's done a great job with those guys. And here's the deal: that's the hardest job on our football team right now because we graduated all 5 offensive linemen. The only one that on our football team that had gotten some offensive reps is number 74 right here, Elijah Pritchard. We did bring back most of the receiving core. I brought my quarterback back, and then we have I think probably the strongest stable of running backs that we've had in a long time. We got 3 or 4 guys that we can throw in there, and we trust to carry the ball, run power, which we haven't pulled a guard in almost 2 years. So we've been excited about doing that. So that's kind of offensively, and I'll introduce the rest of these guys here in a second. Defensively, we also graduated the entire defensive line. Actually, every one of them went and signed a college scholarship, which is part of the reason that we were so good on defense last year. Most of our linebacking core is back, and then we're replacing kind of everybody in the secondary as well for different reasons. But we've got guys that have played in the secondary, but for the most part, I'd say we probably have 3 or 4 defensive starters back and 2 or 3 offensive starters. So we're very young. This senior class has kind of been small the whole time. Then, like I said, we lost some kids for different reasons and have had to make some changes. So we've only got 7 seniors, but we still have 73 kids on the roster, which is really cool, especially in Hamilton County where all of our athletic programs, but especially football, are kind of fighting a numbers problem right now. So to hear Coach Nance talk about having 70 kids has been really cool because that's 140 kids just in our small zip code. And, we're only 8 miles apart from each other. And, if you talk about rivalries, that's to us, that's probably a very big one. It's not as much for me because I didn't get to play them. When I was at Ooltewah High School, East Ham had just opened. So I don't like them for different reasons. They took our senior class, right? But our kids have grown up in that rivalry because they opened, I think, in 2009, 2010. Some really cool stuff for us. Again, I don't have the LED lights. We don't really do the PlayStation stuff, and that's really cool. It's good for culture. The good thing is our kids like to be around each other anyways. This is probably the most fun I've had in a preseason in a long time. But some cool stuff that we got going on. We did just get a brand new turf field. We were the one of 3 schools in Hamilton County to get it. When the one really neat thing about that is like nobody called me before we had turf, but now my phone it just rings off the hook with every soccer team in Chattanooga trying to use it for practice, little league teams, middle schools, everybody, which is great because it is a community stadium. And I'm an Ooltewah guy. I graduated in 2011, and it's really neat to have them come. People want to be a part and have good experiences. We actually just had the ribbon cutting earlier this week. And it was really cool to see all those people come back that helped kind of make that happen. With that, obviously, we tried to do some other upgrades to make our stadium, James M. Monroe Stadium, the nicest stadium in Hamilton County. I'm a big facilities guy. In Hamilton County, you got different issues as far as raising money and stuff like that, but we've been able to do a lot of good stuff. We've got new scoreboard coming. We've got new sideline bench. All the stuff that we're able to do, we've done that for our kids. And we've got a lot of parents that really take pride in our stadium. So we have work days and do all that, and it's been really cool. Offensively this year, like I said, we've got some new stuff happening. I'm going to be calling plays, which is basically Coach Monroe, Benny Monroe. I played for him at Ooltewah, and he told me one time, like, when you let somebody else call plays, it's like letting somebody gamble with your money. So when Coach Monroe talks, you listen, So, and then defensively, Coach Rayburn is kind of taking our defense. He was a region championship defensive coach at Saudi Daisy when Justin Barnes was there. Is also a really quality person. So staff-wise, we're really pumped. the three guys I brought with me, this is number 10, Asa McMillan. I'm a little biased. He's probably, to me, the best middle linebacker in Chattanooga. There's a bunch of really good ones, and he's mine. So I'm really happy to have him. Elijah Pritchard, sorry, Luke's his older brother. Elijah Pritchard is going to be a mainstay for us on the offensive line and rotate in on the D line. And then I brought Brock Smallman, who I could list all the things that he does, but it'd be easier just to tell you he does everything but drive the bus. He plays in the secondary. He's a starting wideout. He was a backup quarterback last year against McMinn, and he didn't find out until the bus ride. I didn't know that he could long snap until about 2 weeks ago, so he's now the long snapper. He is our hands guy on all the kick return stuff. So he does everything but drive the bus, but we're working on the CDL. With that, I guess I'll open up for any questions. And again, please ask these guys. I want to make them talk so I can tell their parents they had to.
Some players set individual goals at the beginning of the season. I was wondering about your three guys. Have they set individual goals or not?
Yes, sir. I do have some goals for myself. Mostly it's just like helping out the team as much as possible by doing like grading out above a 90 for every game. And an individual goal I'd say I have is trying to make All-State. And that's the individual goal. So, yes, sir.
I don't know if I have much individual goals. I just want to win.
Me too.
I'd say just for me, just like helping out the team the most I can. I do a bunch of different stuff with a bunch of different positions, so just being a team player, I guess.
What's the difference y'all have noticed? I know you haven't really been on a whole lot so far this year, but what's the difference you've noticed with the turf from what you're used to playing?
The turf will burn your feet. Yeah, that stuff's a lot hotter than dirt.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, but also we can practice more. We don't have to worry about the weather as much, and the rain won't wash us out, so that's nice.
Stepping in, because you coach talked about sort of having to fill some positions with guys who've graduated and stuff like that. When you're stepping in for the first year like that, starting, what's a mindset change you have to make at that point?
Just being the best I can be. There's nobody else. It's my time, so just step up and do the job.
And Coach, just looking at your region, what's something that stands out to you on the schedule?
So obviously, we've got a couple of our region opponents come up here and talk, and our region is high quality football, especially with the last year's edition of East Hamilton, which again is a rivalry, but they've built a really quality program. And early when that school first started, it really wasn't much of a rivalry. I mean, it was because it's 8 miles apart, but I mean, it typically was a bus ride for them to get whipped, right? And now, I mean, like Coach Cagle was saying about the Bradley McMinn matchup, like our seniors haven't beaten East Ham yet, and we've had some opportunities, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing for our kids and our program, and not even just football, but really our entire athletic department at Ooltewah High School is like our kids are good enough to win games. I just don't know that they totally believe it yet. So I think when you get into playing those region games, like they belong there, and they need to believe that they belong there. So when you look at playing, like our region again is high quality, well coached 5A football, right? And that's familiar for us because we've been at 6A. We've bounced 5 and 6A probably for the last 20 years. But when you play a McMahon and now Walker Valley with what Aikens has done and Nance and Coach Moffitt late in the year, like he's able to keep those kids playing. And then now Coach Harvey, who I've told Aikens this. I mean they obviously were very good on offense last year, Walker Valley. But they made a semifinal run because of how good their defense was coached. And now he's at Ray County, so now you're getting a quality defense at Ray County for sure. So I think, you got to bring it every week in the region. And our non-region schedule is tough too with Central, and they got what I think is the best player in Chattanooga, and Ronnie Watson. Like he could take the ball for 6 at any point, right? Saudi Daisy with Coach Owensby, Coach Rivers at Hickson. Like it's a quality schedule for us, and we're excited because there's not many things better than playing Friday night football. And I played in college, and I remember the stuff at Ooltewah way more than I do at Carson Newman. So.
What's that like just for you? What was that transition between high school and college for playing like? What's the difference in that mindset?
I'll be honest with you, how fast it was. Because I was hurt going into my freshman year of college, and then so I waited a whole year. I got to learn the offense, and I was like, okay, I know the playbook. And then you get out there for your first rep in spring, and it's like you cannot keep up. And I got to luckily I got to play for Ken Sparks, who was a legendary NCAA coach, and just the way he made you think at a certain speed, and then the games, and again with inside veer, so it was right now, but that's probably just the speed of it. And I think that's the biggest thing in high school football is the JV speed to the varsity speed. You practice the same stuff all week, but on Friday goes way faster than Monday does. So, and those guys, I mean, we got a lot of JV guys that are going to have to play, or JV guys last year that are having to play now. And like Elijah said, there is nobody else. We got 70 kids, but we only got 7 seniors. So, I mean, like I said, I tell them all the time, like there is nobody, nobody's coming to save you. It's you guys. So, all right, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. All right, we are going to actually break here and from our high school teams, and we're going to bring up our friends from Chattanooga Sports. Now, you see the helmets here on the desk, but I want to bring Tim up here, and Brant and Cassidy up here from Chattanooga Sports. So Chattanooga Sports, they do an awful lot of event coordination and production in Chattanooga, but for our purposes and what we are really interested in is what they do putting on the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. They were the ones that really, is it 3 years now? 2, 3 years?
This will be the 4th.
This is the 4th year that they have done that. So I want to bring up Tim, Brant, and Cassidy and have them say something here at this time.
Man, you are too kind. Here, y'all grab those microphones. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having us. I found out about the media event last week when we were meeting with Steve, and we absolutely wanted to be here just to ensure that all these kids are fighting for the right to become champions, and it is our job as our community, our regional community sports commission, to ensure that we're creating the best championship environment for the Blue Cross Bowl that we possibly can. And we're the tip of the spear. We're not the only organization that is producing this championship environment. We're working with a multitude of different regional organizations to ensure that we're putting our best foot forward. Just as Cassidy, you were talking about the ambassador program. Tell them a little bit about the ambassador program that we institute.
Yeah, so what's great about this being our 4th year hosting the Blue Cross Bowl is that every single year we kind of were able to implement something new. And so from year 1 to year 2, we noticed there was a big need to get communication straight to the coaches and straight to the players. And so we created an ambassador program where we have 18 individuals who are either highly influential in the football space or just high school athletics who are our Chattanooga ambassadors. And so we get one of them assigned to a team right after we know which teams qualified for the Blue Cross Bowl, and they are their Chattanooga ambassadors. So they give them any information as they're coming into town. They help them out with hotels. They help them out with team meals, and then all of the logistics that kind of just go into arrival to the stadium, what they can expect while they're there, where their cheerleaders can go, all of those types of questions that kind of arise. And it's such a short period of time from qualification to game day, which is that need for all the help we can get getting the communication in the right place.
We want them to worry about football. We want them to go into that stadium ready to fight to become champions of their division. And so we start on the front end right when they qualify, all the way through to when they leave the stadium. And Brant, why don't you touch on a little bit of our Dr. Pepper Fansville experience associated with the game?
Absolutely. So Dr. Pepper Fansville, located in the First Horizon Pavilion right beside Finley Stadium. There's an opportunity to activate, to tailgate. There's a new addition last year was the ice rink there in Chattanooga. So you have an opportunity to tailgate, to go to the Blue Cross Zone, do some activities with them, ice skate. There's some vendors in there. There's food trucks. Opportunity just to hang out, team build, be with your family, your friends, And then when that game starts, when your team's ready to play, go in and have some fun. And then when it's done, go right back out. With that ticket, it gets you in all day for all 3 games each day. So go and experience the game, come back out, and enjoy that Dr. Pepper Fansville.
So with this being year 4, we are extremely excited to see what the future may hold with the Blue Cross Bowl. And it was funny, as before Steve introduced us, well, I was actually on the phone with the TSSAA High School State Championships director, and we were talking about making a trip up to Murfreesboro and Nashville to have some future conversations on what the future may look like with the Blue Cross Bowl moving forward. So thank you for having us. We're extremely excited to host the Blue Cross Bowl December 5th through the 7th of this year.
I was just going to, as you know, Findlay is a much bigger stadium than these boys get to play in on Fridays for the most part. What's it like to offer them the opportunity to play just on a field that size, play on in a college stadium? I mean, what just quite literally is a college stadium. What's it like to give them that opportunity?
So, frankly, it's the Findlay Stadium is the backdrop of that collegiate environment that some of these kids are aspiring to get to, and some of them may never have an opportunity to play in that type of environment again. So for us, it's extremely important that we're working through all the details and seamlessly planning the logistics associated, like Cassidy was mentioning, getting them in, getting them out. So 20 years down the road, they remember when they were in Chattanooga, Tennessee, playing at Findlay Stadium for a lifetime experience. That is our objective as the organizers of this product. We want to make sure that it is a memorable experience 20 years down the road.
I think the community thinks it's been a great thing having Findlay Stadium as a site, and I think it's been very successful. What are some of the things that you guys have to do that the average fan doesn't think about that's involved with getting that TSSAA championship to Chattanooga?
Cassie, you want to tackle this one?
I could tackle that. Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into it. I know one is just everything that goes into that kind of run of show for the day. So it's not normal to have 3 large football games back to back in one stadium. And so most stadiums are not built for that. And it's a completely different kind of route you have to take to get there. So planning for the locker rooms for the players, and when is a team going to be out of the locker room so we can get the next team in. There's a lot that goes into that, and a lot of planning of just the layout of the venue itself. So we've got all these different groups that come in that need space. We have to allocate suites and ancillary space to different things.
So I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to take it a step further. So Cassie is our director of event operations. She's focusing on crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Even before Brant is our director of business development, but even before we get to Cassidy, this is a business. Sports tourism, sports events. This is a business. We need to make sure that we're positioning our community and conducting business the right way to where our community gets a return on the investment, as well as TSSAA gets a return on the investment. So from what the attendee may not know is we're negotiating ahead of time. And this is the last year of our 2-year contract. So we're going up to see TSSAA to continue conversations to see where these negotiations may take us. But we have the positioning ahead of time. We secure the event, and then we execute the vision that we pitch to TSSAA, because at the end of the day, if we don't fulfill the vision, then nobody's happy. And we fulfill what we sell. So that is our core objective, and it's more than just the experience for everybody. It's really how our community is seen in hosting not just the Blue Cross Bowl, but we're engaged in, on average, close to 90 different events throughout the duration of the year. We operate close to 10 in a variety of different sports. We hosted the NCAA D2 softball championship, national championship. And if we define and maintain that consistent championship experience through all these events, then it's going to position us for that next opportunity down the road. So it really is about the experience for us. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And, being from here and have an opportunity to...
It's a Bradley County guy right here.
I am, yes. So the opportunity just to be able to sort of sell my backyard is really been just a blessing in disguise, because the opportunity to have the Blue Cross Bowl here in Chattanooga is something that honestly, I wish that was here when I was in high school. I didn't play football, but it would be really cool to have that opportunity to go right down the road and see these teams play. Just to have that dream of playing in that type of stadium, and whether that's the Blue Cross Bowl or our state girls soccer championships that we host as well in October, having that opportunity for these kids is amazing.
All right, thank y'all. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up. We have had a couple of changes in schedule, but I do want to begin by thanking our crew at Mix 104.1 and MixTV.tv, as well as ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Our broadcasters are here, many of them. Of course, Terry Evans, Gary Owenby, Coach Earl Rowan. They're going to be bringing you football for Cleveland, for Bradley, Andy Morris, and Jacob Mason for Walker Valley on our radio stations. And we're very grateful to them for being here. Also, I want to thank our crew, Austin Chadwick, who you know as Fruit Loops sometimes in the mornings. Austin, also Bridget is waving her hand. She wants to be recognized. By the way, she has done nothing whatsoever for this. Getty and Ratcliffe, Ryan Felton, also Josh Rogers, Stephen Shelton earlier. And then the woman who put this whole thing together, Ashley Flowers. Give her a big hand. She put the whole thing together. Thanks to my friend, the president of Lifecare Centers of America, Todd Fletcher, for letting us do this, and his team. They've been a tremendous host. I will say we will be back for basketball and for wrestling. We have had a conversation even today about that. And my buddy Paul Garner, who helps us every single time we're here, including the Empty Stocking Fund finale. We really, really appreciate it. And to all of the teams, the media, and everyone. This is our first time doing it. There'll be many more to go. And we appreciate you joining us live on MixTV.tv. For all of us at our family of stations, and for Lifecare Centers of America, and of course, Wholesale Supply Group, I'm Steve Hartline. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.